Welcome back to the Super Data Science series on web scraping, where we're using Scrapy to extract information from the web. As a quick recap, in the last video we scraped the Super Data Science website, and we've explored HTML, inspecting the browser of HTML files, CSS, selectors we touched a little bit on in the last video, and now we're going to be scraping the Imdb website as an example. It's just a great site because it's always got new content on it about all the upcoming movies or movie information in general. So we're going to take a look and see what we can do there, just to use as an example. And if you explore this page really quickly, you can see some of the information that you might be able to retrieve. You can see, we have, some recent trailers, upcoming movies. You have The Incredibles 2, Uncle Drew, Rampage, latest trailers on those. You see some advertisements opening this week. So this is just giving you an idea of maybe some ideas to explore on what information you can retrieve. But you're going to end up seeing, once we finish our spider, we're going to create a CSV document with specific formats such as the director, the title of the movie, and so on. Working with Scrapy, it's just such a great tool and lightweight, very easy to deploy and utilize to return information that we saw in the last video. We can put into a specific format such as CSV that we can then use in the future to create our databases, to create or implement into our algorithms, to actually go into the data and manipulate it even further to extract analysis from it. You can get the picture. Just data science principles in general. But with all of that, we can now get started implementing our new spider. So let's jump in, launch Anaconda, and open up the page where we can create a new file. All right, I have my spider open, and I'm in my example folder where you can see our other files that we've built. We have our second spider and our first spider. So what do you think we're going to call this one? Or at least what do you think I'm going to call this one? I'm going to call it third spider. I want to save it, save as. In my spiders, I want to call it third spider.py. We will save that, get our file ready, and now we have to get our import statements added in. We, of course, need to import Scrapy. And now, since we're going to be working with new items, before we import them, let's actually go, we can do the from example items, as we did in the last video, where we can see we created an item. We're going to go into that in a second. We can import, and we're going to leave that now because we're going to go create our new item our new items that we're going to use in our web spider. So launch, go back into your folder, go into example or the name of your folder, and find the items.py file. Open it. Now you can open it in an editor if it's easier for you to build it in an editor. That's fine. We can also add it in here. I did add these just to give it a little spacing for organization. And we're going to create our new item. So what do we have to do to create a new item? We have to set it. We're actually creating a new class because that's what we're importing into our spider. So we're going to create our class. And since we're working with Imdb, I actually want that lowercase. We're going to call it, let's say, movie item. Call it movie item. Keep it simple. Since it's a class, we're using the camel case for movie item, and we're going to do Scrapy.item. Don't forget those. Now we return it. Want to add our note is here we're defining our item fields. Guess that gives you a little more information. We're going to work with the following fields. We want to use the title. We're going to find the title of the movie. I actually want these as lowercase. Title equals Scrapy.field. We're actually setting all these, since they are fields, it becomes a little repetitive. We also want to look for the directors equals Scrapy.field. And this might be a good idea why you can actually edit in a text editor, because this keeps correcting it and actually throwing it off. I want to look for the writers as well with our scraper. I will go back through and edit this as soon as we're done. I'm just going to copy this, make it a little easier. we're gonna lowercase writers. I apologize for this formatting. About to open up a spider in a second. You're gonna add a couple more. Also, we were mentioning IMDb before. You can actually retrieve images as well. We're gonna be working with this main text for the moment. Scrapy. I had that copied, so we can just do that. And we're going to be looking for the popularity. Scrapy.field. Okay. Save that. And we're now going to import our movie item. Import movie item. All right. Great job so far. And I hope that you are getting the hang of creating items to go with your scraper. It kind of goes hand in hand once you're retrieving those information to look for specific items that we can also use to organize our data, say, again, using CSV. I hope it's starting to become a little clear. If not, as always, please, if you have any questions, please feel free to share them and we can discuss them. Now, this should also start becoming a little more familiar. What's the first thing we're going to do after we have our import statements? We need to set our main class for the spider. We need to set our name of it, the allowed domains, and the start URL. We are going to set our class, and I'm going to call mine third spider. Very original. Set it to scrapy.spider. Essentially getting our class built here. We want to set the name to call our spider from the terminal. And let's call it IMDb spider or IMDb test spider. All right, close that, close parentheses. We need to set our allowed domains. If you remember from the last time, basically just setting a specific domain that are allowed to crawl so your spider doesn't, in really basic terms, get out of control. imdb.com, it just wants the domain name. That's for our allowed domains. We're going to close that. Return again. Lastly, for this main part, we're going to set our start URLs as you have seen, open parentheses, and pass in the actual long form of the domain, www.imdb.com. And here we're actually going to use, not specifically the main page of imdb.com, we're going to be using this page, which is the top 250 rated movies as rated by IMDb users. And for that, we can see the link there is /chart/top. And we want to close it. We can add a comma and closing parentheses. If you want to use other pages, say you extend your crawler, you can pass in other links here for other IMDb pages. But if you want to explore, which we're going to end up leaving off in this video right now here, because in the parsing section, and then when we actually go and parse the details for our scraper, I really want to dive into it and go over what we're doing in the sense of what information we have to look up. Let's go and use the inspector to inspect the page, to take a look at information that we're going to try and retrieve, and how we're going to set up the information that's going to come back to us with our items that we have created already. And for now, we have our third spider set up. We have our name, our allowed domains, our start URLs, and this is really the details that go into starting up every spider. You're going to set up your items, you're going to set up your import statements, and you're going to set up your class from your items where you're directing your spider to the specific website. And here we're going to leave off, since in the next one we're going to be really diving into the code to see what's going on in more details. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to share them. Great job so far. I hope you guys are enjoying scraping as we move along. It's a fantastic journey. It's always a lot of fun to go through this and create new spiders. And I wanted to touch on a great question that was asked by one of our students in the comments that asked about using Scrapy over Selenium. And just to explain some of the benefits of using Scrapy, to simplify it, really Scrapy has performance. It consumes a lot less memory and CPU power and has other really huge benefits such as asynchronous and flexible. Scrapy and Selenium are both phenomenal tools. It's like using the PyTorch library over TensorFlow for specific AI-related operations, or using NumPy over Pandas or Pandas over NumPy. They're both incredible tools to use. And really, to sum it up, Scrapy is to be a modern and efficient web scraper to deploy easily. It's an outstanding tool, and it's a crucial tool to know. But that being said, as always, keep an eye out for future series to check back in on Selenium. You never know, they might come your way. And lastly, please subscribe to the Super Data Science channel, where you will stay up to date with weekly information. Really helps you know what's going on within the industry. I highly recommend to check it out. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next tutorial, where we're going to dive in further and get some more behind the scenes information with Scrapy.